It's time for today's Is This Anything with our friends at WIBC. Hammer and Nigel are joining us. Country star Jessie James Decker is calling out United Airlines for its alleged treatment of her pregnant sister, who, according to Jessie, was forced to get on her hands and knees to pick up some popcorn after her 2-year-old daughter dropped it. Is this anything?
No, this is nothing. And I've looked at the photos here. Now, you said kids dropped some popcorn on this airline. No, this was a mess. These kids made a total mess on this United Airlines flight. Now, keep in mind, everybody just assumes that there's a cleaning staff that handles this kind of stuff. No, it's the flight attendants that have to clean all this up, and they don't get paid extra for that. It's a very weird pay system that flight attendants are on. I don't think it's asking too much for your rotten kids to actually pick up after themselves. And if they're too little and can't do it, I'm sorry, you're pregnant, not my fault. You bend over and you pick it up. Or maybe you can pay somebody to do it, like the old $1 Million Man used to do in the old WWF days. Everybody's got a price. But I am totally Team United Airlines on this one. So your kids are going to make that level of a mess. I mean, it looks like a baseball ballpark with everything just on the ground right there. And then you're going to complain that you're the victim? No, I'm sorry. I am against the Deckers on this one. I'm against the kids in this one. I am Team United Airlines. And yes, that is my take on that.
So many of us have been there. If you have kids, they make messes, and your job as the parent is to pick them up a lot of times. That's kind of what we do, at least in our household.
Right. And maybe after the first, 15 or 20 pieces of popcorn that little rotten kids have dropped on the floor, I had to censor myself right there. Maybe you tell them, hey, stop doing that, because I grew up in a different era. There would be consequences if you kept doing that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. Hey, you guys remember Sega, one of the first video game consoles I ever played? The Japanese-based company is now closing on a deal to buy the company who made the popular Angry Birds mobile game. Is this anything?
Yeah, $1 billion for Angry Birds. And everybody, first of all, there's two aspects of this story. Angry Birds was like the first app that I ever, like the first game app that I ever downloaded for my iPhones when the iPhones came out in the late 2000s. And I was instantly addicted. You slingshot those little birds, and they knock things over. And it's become a huge industry. They made multiple movies about Angry Birds. My kids became addicted to it once I started letting them play with my phone. So, and there's the other aspect of it. You were a Sega Genesis guy. You were a Sega Genesis kid when you were a kid. I was Nintendo. What were you, Hammer? I was late Atari into the Nintendo era. Like the toward the end of the Atari dynasty into the early days of Nintendo. What did you play Sonic the Hedgehog? I guess that was specific to Sega. And of course I love Super Mario Brothers.
NBA Jam.
Yeah.
NBA Jam was awesome.
That was kind of on both platforms. But
he's on fire.
Boom,
I was never a Sega Genesis guy. I don't know why. I just stuck with Nintendo.
Hey, if you want to play Angry Birds, that may be the way you have to go. We'll see.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time. More All Indiana is next.